Welcome back to the Stumpf Moving and Storage YouTube channel. As always, I'm Sean, and today I have a storage vault behind me. And if you're not familiar with full service storage vaults are what professional movers place your items in when they come into a storage facility. Now, I'm sure that all of you guys out there are familiar with self-storage and how they can be outside and they're basically metal sheds. Well, in the moving and storage industry, professional movers use vaults. They're made of wood and they're basically crates. We're one of those companies that offer a full service storage option, and I wanted to show you guys what you can expect when your items come into our storage facility. Now, storage vaults are a moving and storage industry standard. They're also government approved. So when we have military shipments or any other kind of government storage that comes into our facility, they get placed into storage vaults. And then they can be stacked up to 4 high. Our facility, we could stack 3 high and about 6 deep. So we have a lot of these crates here, and I'm going to show you guys how we load these in just a second. But before I do, if you guys like the video, if you learned something, please hit that like button for me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more moving and storage tips, tricks, and helpful hints. And just like that, let's get into it. Okay guys, the first thing we're going to be adding is our base. If you remember from our video where we taught you how to load a truck, we use base first, and base can be anything from dressers to bookshelves. In this case, we do have a bookshelf. And it's strong, sturdy furniture that you could load on top of. So we'll take a piece of base, and unfortunately, the shipment that we have today, there's not a lot of base. So we're gonna end up using totes and boxes that are heavier as the rest of the base. So now we're gonna go ahead and bring some book boxes on. JT's gonna bring a few in right now. And we'll place them so that we can fill out this load properly. So go ahead and set it down. Now, if we have to spin them, we will. Bookshelves are typically narrow, and book boxes are about the same width. So it's actually going to work out nicely. Now, we don't want anything to come out from the tier. And if you're wondering what a tier is the stack of items that you've now loaded into the vault or the truck. So we have the beginnings of a tier right here, and we want to make sure it stays flush. So we'll bring out some more book boxes and smaller boxes that will fill that nicely. Before I forget, if you guys need any moving materials, go ahead and take a look in our description below. We have everything listed right there, from pads to bands, everything needed to make a smooth move happen. It's all listed right down there. Book boxes are always nice to use because they're also heavier. So they're going to give you the stable base that you need, just like a large piece of furniture would. Now, just like everything, guys, we want to put the heavier boxes on the bottom, and we want to put the lighter boxes on the top. So these ones are pretty light, these ones are pretty heavy. And we have this awkward space here that we have to start looking for items that will fill. As the guys bring some stuff down from the truck, I'm going to keep an open mind of what can fit into that spot. So this happens to be perfect for that spot. This styrofoam box fits perfect in there. A few more book boxes here, guys, and we are doing a pretty good job here. We don't want to waste all of our medium boxes or anything like that, or medium items. If you guys recall from the truck loading video, again, medium items would be what we stack on top of base. Because if you run out of that, then it becomes harder to load your stick, your chowder, and all that little miscellaneous items that go up on top. Come on, Josh, what do we got? There we go. Perfect. Good job. I left myself with another awkward spot here. This is stuff that happens a lot because not everything is symmetrical. So now we're going to look for an item that will go there. I believe Josh found something. Perfect. They'll fit there nicely. You'll get it in there. I have faith.
There we go.
Yeah. That's what years of experience gets you. A keen eye, right? Now that we have all that going on, we're going to start working up again with some medium stuff. So medium-sized boxes, any light furniture would be perfect for this. But we do have a very narrow tier because we had a bookshelf and book boxes. So we want to be cognizant of that. And then we'll go ahead and put our lighter items that go up on top. There's several different terms for this. If you guys remember from our truck loading video, we called it chowder, we called it stick, we called it up stuff. I prefer up stuff or stick, and that goes up top there. There's a lot of different lingo in the moving and storage industry, but just remember, we got the big stuff on the bottom, the medium stuff in the middle, and the light stuff up top. Right here is a pretty good example of some medium furniture. This is a piano bench. Okay. It's got some very fragile legs, so we're going to turn the legs up and put the lid down of the bench, because the bench does have like a storage compartment there. Typically I'd like to stand them up, but sometimes you just don't have that ability. So right here we're going to let the legs go up, because all we're going to put on top of here is some lighter stuff, including this piece right here. Thanks, Josh. And that right there is what I'm talking about when I'm using all of my available space. So the legs are up, everything is padded here, and I have that extra space there to put some lighter items in that are small, so we don't waste any space. Now sometimes you guys will find yourself with gaps that you can't fill. We actually had a little small little piece here that we wrapped up. We were able to stick it in there. But gaps like this, you might not be able to fill. Gaps like this are a little more concerning here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a burlap, or you could take a storage pad as well, and we'll create either a sausage or a hot dog. Now this is the great debate in the moving and storage industry, or at least here at Stumpf Moving and Storage. Some guys call it a sausage, some guys call it a hot dog. I just call it some fill. And we'll roll it up. And we'll stick it in there. And we'll use as many as we need to make sure that we have filled that space, because we don't want anything to shift while we're stacking the crate. Now it's not going to go anywhere once it's in place, but we don't want any shifting or movement. So we'll need one more, and then we'll be filled up there. Had to grab a couple more. And there we go. We have a nice flush tier, but we still have this space to fill out. And I have a bag, I believe that's filled with the Christmas tree, that I could put in there. All right, I was able to fill that space really nicely here, and it's on to the next tier. So we'll go ahead and, at this point, we don't have any more base, so we'll go ahead and use heavier totes to put a base layer down. Let me go grab a few. Perfect. You want to grab one side of this, JT? Or whoever's here. it. So this piece was hanging out a little bit when we went to walk away. We want to make sure that we have a flush tier, so we had to roll it on its side. Now we have a nice, perfectly flush tier. Josh is going to continue upwards with some lighter totes, and I will follow suit. Sometimes you'll have these gaps again, but we have a nice thin tote. There's nothing in there that's going to break, nothing that's going to shatter. It's all clothing. We can see that because it's clear. So we'll go ahead and slide this one into place. Then we'll fill up with any lighter items that we have. If we don't have any, we'll continue along with another base layer. This thing.
Put the start of your button in first.
Yeah. Slide that to the left. There you go. Here we go. Now this item is it's a little interesting. All right, guys, with that in place here, we have used up all the available space for the items that we're loading now. So we're gonna go ahead and put the door on, and I'm gonna have JT help me in just a second. But if you guys learned something, go ahead and hit that like button for me, especially if you enjoyed the video and this helped you out with your move. Now, come on, JT, let's get this door on and get this back and get this vault stacked back up. Yep. Okay. Now these doors don't just slide into place. They actually are held on by clamps, not clips. People get those confused. They're little metal brackets. I'll bring you guys in for a closer look to show you exactly how they go on. So the clamps clip on just like that, but we're gonna want one in each corner here as we go around. The bottom ones are always the hardest to put on. So I like to use a hammer as leverage and pop them up into place. And there you have it, guys. This is a perfectly packed and secured storage vault, ready to be stacked and put away until our customer wants their belongings at a later date. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, what is full service moving and storage? What is full service storage? Well, full service storage is a service that we provide where we come to your home, we pack up all your belongings, put them in a moving truck, and then bring them back to our warehouse, our storage facility. And then all of your belongings are then placed into a storage vault where it is stacked away until you want them later. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with self-storage where you could drive up. Well, this is a little bit different, but it's being rebranded recently as a type of valet storage, but it's not. That's just a new spin on a very old tradition and a very old thing that's been going on for many, many years in the moving and storage industry. Most people just don't know about it because unlike self-storage units, you're not going to be able to drive up to a moving company and put your belongings in storage without contacting them first. They'll need a heads up that you're coming in, and you guys can absolutely bring your own belongings into the storage facility where our crew will then load them into the storage vaults for you, pad wrap them, and then stack it away until you're ready to have them. The only difference really, besides the fact that we'll do all the heavy lifting for you, is the fact that you're not able to access it as easily as self-storage. And depending upon what you're doing and your storage needs, maybe you don't need to access it. So it really just depends on the person and their situation. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope this helped you with your move. And if it did, hit that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more moving tips, tricks, and industry insight. And I'll catch you in the next video.